SpongeBob should have ended right after the fucking 2004 movie, which I thought that was a really, really good fucking movie. I could say it's a fucking masterpiece if I had to, you know, that first SpongeBob movie that came out. Then again, after the fucking movie, they decided to keep running the show over and over and over. More and more and more seasons. Keep coming and coming, you know? Like, they wouldn't stop with these seasons of the show. Then they got another movie came out in 2015 called Sponge Out of the Water, which, you know, superheroes. Antonio Banderas plays a bad guy pirate. CGI look, these characters out when they're out of the water. I was not a really big fan of that movie. I don't really like it that much because it's not really. It had that SpongeBob vibe because, you know, the show died after like the 5th season. In my opinion, people say after the 3rd season. Me, I say after the 5th season is when the show died. Oh god, like it's a shame. Like these writers they hire after Steven Hillenburg and the other guy left. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. They didn't even care about writing the episode of the show. They did not really care at all. I mean, season 6 of the fucking season, you know, season 6, they had some good episodes, but not all of them are good. Most of them are like fucking stupid as hell. Patrick's a fucking dickhead, fat prick, and yeah, it's like they do not really care about writing the show anymore after like the. Yeah, I mean, even the 4th, 5th season had some bad episodes, but not all of them were bad. Like later seasons were, especially like season 7 to 8. That's where like this really went downhill. You know, they should have just ended after the movie, 2004 movie. You know, this is unnecessary. And then now this is the 3rd movie. It just came out like almost 2 years ago now. Sponge on the Run, and this movie's not original at all. It is definitely not fucking original. There's nothing original about this film at all. It's just reuse the same shit from different episodes of SpongeBob. They reuse other shit from other shit. So we're just gonna get into it and talk about why this movie's not fucking original. Tom Kenny's voice is dying in this movie. Every time he talks that SpongeBob, is like you can hear his middle-aged old man voice talk through SpongeBob's mouth. You can hear it during these episodes. Not episodes, this movie. You can hear it. His voice is just getting old. And he's probably getting tired of doing the same shit over and over. Coming in there doing the SpongeBob voice. You can tell these voice actors are getting tired of doing this shit over and over again. The voices and shit. So the beginning of the movie starts off with fucking Bikini Bottom. This British asshole narrator's narrating about the characters, about Sandy and them, all that, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Plankton, talk about them. Then it goes to SpongeBob house and, hang out with Gary, doing stuff with Gary and stuff like that. Well, I mean, before that, SpongeBob fucking shouting out his window, saying good morning to Patrick, because Patrick's fat ass come out of his house. They start shouting at each other, doing it on purpose so they can annoy Squidward, which they do like every modern episode of SpongeBob. They just annoy the fucking shit out of him, which just started getting old after a while. It's like they do the same shit over and over again. Everybody know they do this shit on purpose, it's to piss off Squidward because they love doing that. Because in the earlier seasons, like Squidward's like to annoy Squidward Day. Even SpongeBob know that he loves annoying the shit out of him on purpose. But still, like, this shit got old after a while, isn't it? The whole thing with it. I mean, the earlier season, which I think was funny when they annoyed Squidward. This shit is just irritating. Then they had this fucking montage of SpongeBob and Gary hanging out with this shitty bands singing the music. Which I rather choose this music than any other music in this modern generation than anything, to be fair. Had the shitty band singing a song, doing a montage with Gary and SpongeBob hanging out. Patrick doing retarded shit as always. Then after that, he gotta go to work, and he tells Gary, "Oh, Gary, I gotta go to work. I'll be back, so you won't be abandoned anymore." So he goes to Krusty Krab. Blah blah blah. I mean, the animation kind of looks like shit. If you think about it, the animation does look like shit compared to the first movie. The first movie was in 2D animation, which I like way better because it looks perfectly well while they're in, places like Cell Shitty and stuff like that. This right here, it looks disgusting. Look like disgusting looking. It's like looking at a bunch of blobs or something. I don't know what it is. It looks weird. I mean, I like the way that the Krusty Krab looks in the animation, but inside and out, but everything else just looks so weird. I don't know what kind of animation is this. I know it's some kind of CGI animation, but it has to be some kind of different type of CGI animation. It looks really bad. I'm sorry. So the whole beginning of the episode, I keep saying episode, this is a fucking movie. The whole beginning of the whole fucking movie is basically just a regular episode of SpongeBob, basically. This is not really a fucking movie. Like, I don't know what they're doing with this fucking film. Like, the whole beginning is just an episode of SpongeBob, to be fair. It's not like a real adventure like the first movie it had. You know, the second movie is the same shit, just like the third movie, but this third one was even worse than the second movie. It's like even more boring. I'm just watching a regular episode of fucking SpongeBob. This is not a fucking movie. It's the whole thing right now, just at the Krusty Krab. He's cooking a fucking Krabby Patties like he does every fucking episode. And now Santa comes in with a fucking robot and shit. Plankton's planning his revenge to get the Krabby Patty secret formula. It's the same thing. Do you know what would have been a better movie for this? You know, for the third film? You know what would have been better? If Plankton and Mr. Krabs team up together to go against this new guy who came in to, you know, run this new food business, you know, and those two had to team up together to take this guy out, to get him out of Bikini Bottom. That would have been a perfect movie. But then again, they can't become this retarded shit that already been done already. Speaking of reusing same material, here's another thing here. You remember in SpongeBob, the first movie with King Neptune? Yeah, this movie has a different king, and this time it's Poseidon. King Poseidon. Instead of King Neptune, now we got King Poseidon. You know, the real, you know, king of the sea. And, you know, in the mythology books and stuff like that. Yeah, King Poseidon. So they're redoing the same thing like they did with the fucking first movie. King Poseidon and the other one. We're gonna get to the other one soon. So here's the plot of why, you know, Gary goes missing again. So I figured out why. King Poseidon hates to look old, and he needs some kind of snail to keep making his face look young and perfect looking, because, you know, he's a flamboyant king. So he decides, you know, I think something to do with fucking Plankton decides he's gonna kidnap Gary and bring it to him so he can get the formula and blah blah blah. It's the same thing all over again, like the fucking first movie and the other fucking episode where Gary come home and shit. Which Plankton does steal Gary from fucking SpongeBob's house, which he reads this note that King Poseidon needs another snail. So he decides to kidnap fucking Gary so he can get rid of SpongeBob, which is just what he planned it. So in his most rushing way possible, how they did that scene. So, you know, Gary comes home, not Gary, SpongeBob comes home, and he looks around his house trying to figure out where this fucking snail is at. Look through his shit, look through the refrigerator everywhere, and they have this flashback at Camp Coral. When I say it like that, when I say Camp Coral, that's another reason why this movie sucks. Alright, let me explain about Camp Coral. They made this movie because they want to make a show out of Camp Coral. You know, they want to make a spin-off show out of SpongeBob's past life. When he first met Gary, and which other stuff doesn't make no sense about that spin-off show. How he met Sandy at the camp. You know, he met Sandy later on when he's an adult, not at a fucking camp. Especially like Mr. Krabs and Squidward. Like, well, what the fuck are those? Why are those characters even there? Especially Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs is the oldest. Why is even Squidward here? He's old too. What? This makes no sense. Like, it shouldn't be SpongeBob, Patrick, and fucking Gary. What the fuck is all those other characters doing at Camp Coral? Like, it makes no sense, does it? I don't get the spin-off. It should be SpongeBob and Patrick and Gary. Not all these other fucking characters, which he doesn't get met until he's an adult. So I don't get the spin-off. It makes no fucking sense. You know, that spin-off's very hideous looking. Like a nightmare. Like I said before. So yeah, this whole movie is basically was made because they wanted to make a spin-off out of SpongeBob called Camp Coral. Another reason why they made this fucking movie. They don't care about this whole film. And somehow they easily find out where Gary is at. So they just find this note in Gary's shit pile, even though SpongeBob looked through that already, but Patrick looked through it, he fucking finds it. Like, what the fuck? How did he find it so easily? So now they easily know where to find him. I guess if they want to stall the movie, they want to just get it over with, I guess. See, that's how much they really fucking care about making this movie. They don't care. So they find out he's in Atlantic City, the lost city of Atlantis. They gotta go find him. You know, they've been through Atlantis before in that musical episode of SpongeBob. Remember that musical episode where, what was his name? David Bowie, which David Bowie never fucking sang in that episode. You know, the episode's a fucking musical. He never sings, but everyone else sings, but not him, not David Bowie. Yeah, David Bowie played that character who owns the Lost City of Atlantis. He was the owner of it, and he said he did absolutely no singing, and that's a goddamn shame. They wasted his time. He supposed to sing, he never sings, and everyone was disappointed as fuck when I watched that episode. Oh yeah, my mistake, because Plankton left it on purpose so that they read it. So they come out of the house, fucking Plankton shows up with the boat, with a robot, driving them to Lost City Atlantis for him. He was like, so that's the only way to get rid of them, so you can get the Krabby formula, because, you know, SpongeBob's in the fucking way. I mean, I'm fine with, you know, SpongeBob Patrick going on adventure again like the first movie, but this is a big downgrade from the first movie. I'm glad it's SpongeBob Patrick going on adventure again, together again, just those two. Because, you know, the second one is just SpongeBob Patrick and everyone else. You know, everyone else. Fucking Plankton, Mr. Krabs, Sandy, Squidward. Like, Jesus Christ. That's too many, you know. Maybe you can find just Squidward come with those two, but I don't know. I mean, we know how that's gonna be. That's not a good idea either. You know, this reminds me of something else. Patrick and SpongeBob in a car driving somewhere on the road, middle of nowhere. It reminds me of another movie with Johnny Depp called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And they sit in the car and they talk all day, and they go to Las Vegas. Which they do, they go to the casino. So they steal it from they just took from another movie, basically. They're basically ripping off Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. They sit in the car and they talk all day. It's the same thing. It's Johnny Depp's in the car with his friend and they talk all day. And they pick up a drifter who's Tobey Maguire and they talk with him and with his fucking long blonde freakish hair before he was Spider-Man. They sit and talk in the fucking car all day. That's basically where they took it from. I was like, this shit reminds me of something. So here comes another stupid part in this movie, which you can see through this thumbnail right here. This is the next scene after this movie. This thumbnail right here. So let's talk about this scene. All right. Look, I really like Keanu Reeves as an actor. I like him in shit like, you know, The Matrix, John Wick. You know, he's a pretty good actor. You know, he did a lot of fucking, you know, famous films and stuff like that. But this is unnecessary. Why he got his head in a fucking tumbleweed? And he's talking to SpongeBob and Patrick in a fucking in the West and stuff like that. Like, that's not funny. What's so funny about that? He's not David Hasselhoff. Like, they're just pulling a David Hasselhoff with a different actor. That's basically what they do. They're just pulling a fucking David Hasselhoff, but it's Keanu Reeves in a tumbleweed. It's not really that funny. Like, especially you try to do his. I mean, if he did do his fucking Bill and Ted impression, but you know, we all saw how that movie went. That Bill and Ted 3 film, which also came out the same year as this fucking piece of shit. So, Tumbleweed Keanu Reeves gives him a challenge and a coin, he spits out his mouth. And they go in this saloon full of these pirate zombie cowboys, and he gives them a task how to get rid of them, and that's not really that funny. I like the tugboat better. The place they go to, the tugboat. I think it's called something else. It's something dirtier. I think it's the rug tug. I forgot what it's called. It's some dirty ass fucking joke. I
I think the rug tug means when you fucking tug your dick or something. I forgot that's what it fucking means. See, even the name of the fucking building's funnier than this fucking this place they went into. Because when we went in that tugboat shit, man, that shit was badass. This is not badass. This is bad or ass, not the two combined. And it gets even more cringier, this fucking movie. You know what gets worse about this shit? The pirate zombie cowboys start dancing, and fucking Snoop Dogg turns around and starts doing his rap. What the fuck is this shit? Is this a SpongeBob movie or a fucking a rap concert? What the hell's going on here? What the fuck is Snoop Dogg doing here? Get the hell out of this movie! Oh my god! See, this is what I mean. They don't care about writing this fucking movie. This is the example. Snoop Dogg doing a fucking rap concert with these fucking pirate zombie cowboys, and they're, oh my fucking god, it's like, I hate this shit. That's what I mean. They don't care all about making this movie. They don't care. Do you know what's a better musical? The first movie. Remember when the song with now we're men, da 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 da, now we're men. I changed my underwear. Remember that song with the fucking the mustaches, the seaweed mustaches, and they're dancing with the monsters and shit, and they're slapping their knees and stuff like that, their ankles and stuff. That shit was fucking funny. That shit was hilarious. This is not. This is generic as fuck, unoriginal, half-assed. It's like, oh my god, dude. No, just no. Fuck this shit. It's just not funny. This shit right here is watered down as fuck. This whole movie just is a watered down fucking first movie version of it. This is a watered down version of the first SpongeBob movie. Oh yeah, before that, fucking Keanu Reeves talking about this El Diablo guy who's this, I don't know, their next challenge they gotta take care of that's coming through the west, driving through his horses, and it's fucking Danny Trejo's El Diablo. Danny Trejo. Danny fucking Trejo. I was like, they just love doing shit like this. Just make people get pissed and get cringed out. Fucking Danny Trejo. I mean, I don't mind Danny Trejo, but this is ridiculous. This is not funny. Then they get captured by El Diablo. Danny Trejo puts them in the cage, and they escape, and they attack him. They get out of the fucking saloon, and they're back in the car, pulling in their fear and loathing in Las Vegas shit again. Sit in the car talking, fucking the sage guy, Keanu Reeves talks through him through the mirror, talking to him and shit. I'm guessing he's the fucking the drifter, I guess. You know, this movie would have been more funnier if this whole film was actually 100% based off Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. If this was the kid version of it, it would probably be pretty fucking funny. If you think about it now. If they really went, they really parodized the whole Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas film and made a kid version out of it with SpongeBob and Patrick and shit, it would have been pretty fucking hilarious. Especially if they pick up some drifter or something on the side, in the desert or something. That would be pretty fucking hilarious. But of course, no. It's all about Gary is missing, the whole Gary Come Home episode, and the whole King Poseidon, even though they already did that idea already with the first movie, King Neptune. They're just doing the same shit they did all over again. Instead of doing the idea I came up with before with the whole, this new food business guy came into Bikini Bottom, and Plankton and Mr. Krabs had to team up to get rid of the guy, which would have been a way better fucking idea than this shit. Then Keanu shows the two this mirror showing what's going on with Gary. Gary is, King Poseidon's new face polisher. If he gets all dried up, he's gonna be a slave for the rest of his life. He runs out of fucking snail jizz. So he puts snail jizz over his face. That's disgusting. So he used that, to keep looking young, and to keep fucking shouting at the mirror. Keanu Reeves keep telling him that he can't hear them. How much money did they pay Keanu Reeves to be in this movie? I just want to know how much money did they pay this guy. $30 million? Explains the whole animated budget. So then Mr. Krabs gets depressed. He's all sad. SpongeBob's gone. So he decides, Plankton comes in. He gives him the formula without any problems whatsoever. He just gives it to him, and he goes crying into his office. And Plankton leaves with the formula. That's it. Snap, just like that. He just walks away with the formula. Okay, wow. It was that easy, I guess. He gets all depressed. He just goes in his. I better watch out for him. Someone should look out for Mr. Krabs. That's not good leaving him by himself in there. I don't know what he's gonna do. Masturbate himself to death or something? I don't know. I don't know what to fucking say to that. So they finally made it to Atlantic City that quickly. And, fucking Keanu Reeves telling warning them to be careful and stuff like that. What they're gonna do in there? Atlantic City. Atlantic City is basically, like I said, it's a casino. That's what they base it off of, a casino in real life. Like I said, they're basing this shit off of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This is a kid version of it. With Johnny Depp, this is the same shit. Then they're gonna be a scene of hallucinating, going crazy. Whoa. Some weird shit going on, That's why he's not wearing the fucking hat and the glasses and the cigarette come out of his mouth. This is a kid's movie. He can have a cigarette in his mouth. They're seeing they're in a casino. They're basically ripping off Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This is a cartoon version of it, the kid cartoon version. Like I said, if this movie was actually the whole thing was the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, it actually would have been pretty funny. But, like I said, this is about, getting Gary back and reusing the same characters all over again like they did in the first movie. Like, this is not funny. I don't get why they made this shit. Oh, I forgot. Make money and promote the new spin-off show called, Camp Coral. Or you just call it Camp Shit because it sucked. I don't know. Is that shit still going on? I don't even fucking care. So the whole time they just goof off there in fucking Atlantic City. They all wasted and drunk. Just like the first movie, right? First movie. I think the first movie. Yeah, they're all fucking wasted. They're all like exhausted after like partying. Then fucking Keanu Reeves shows up again as a fucking oh my god. As the what was it, a tumbleweed? Like I don't get that. What's so funny about that? Look, Keanu Reeves, like I said, I like him as an actor. He's a really good actor. Bill and Ted, like Matrix, John Wick. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. They're just paying all this money just to just be a fucking tumbleweed, a head in a tumbleweed. He basically supposed to be a Mindy from the first movie. He's basically Mindy. Remember Mindy, the person that's voiced by Scarlett Johansson, even though I never knew that till later on in the future. Yeah, Mindy, he's basically Mindy from the first movie. Like, this whole thing is just based off the first movie, but this is like a watered down version of it. Or everything's watered down in this fucking generation. Then later on, SpongeBob and Patrick get in trouble with the law. They get arrested. They get put in jail in Atlantic City after trying to get Gary back or something. Then Sandy wonders where he's at, checks his house, look everywhere. Then she goes to the Krusty Krab, which somehow Squidward's still there, the Krusty Krab. There's no business going out. Like, why the fuck he's still going to work? Shouldn't he be having his, find a different job or something at home? Like, why is he still there? There's no business anymore. How's the place even open? How are they gonna pay the bills in that place? I don't get that. Well, I get it. This is just a kid's movie, so whatever. So Sandy finds out on TV that the Krusty Krab that SpongeBob has been arrested, shit like that, for a high-speed chase, and now Sandy's, Mr. Krabs, and Squidward. Also Plankton, because he want to tag along, because no crazy shit he's gonna do. They decide to get into this Patty Mobile. Jeez, why would that sound familiar? The Patty Mobile. Well, this is a Super Patty Mobile. That was a longer version of it. And it shoots fucking ketchup rocket and it blasts off like a rocket. Once again, first movie. Because you remember the first movie that SpongeBob Patrick drive a Patty Mobile to go to Shell City with it. Which they don't break it to Shell City. They get the car stolen. They gotta get it back from that guy that robbed them. It's just, like I said, they're basically just reusing shit from the first movie. They use the Patty Mobile again. They're driving the Patty Mobile, but it's a bigger Patty Mobile with fucking mustard ketchup blast off things. That blast off the car faster. Like I said, first movie ideas. You just take everything from the first movie and just regurgitating it for a third film. Wow, this is a very original film. This is very original. This movie is basically a regurgitated version of the first movie. A watered down version of the first movie. Instead of King Neptune, we got King Poseidon. Instead of Mindy, we got a talking Tumblebee voiced by Keanu Reeves. Oh, I'm sorry, not voice. His head's right there. His head's in a fucking tumbleweed. So this is basically a regurgitated version of the first fucking SpongeBob movie. I can't believe it. This definitely it is. Besides that, like, we stole ideas from that episode with, like I said, the Gary Come Home episode. Remember, Gary goes missing. He leaves and he lives with this old senile grandma that keeps feeding his snails over and over again until they pop and die. They basically stole shit from that. Also. So, next scene, Patrick, SpongeBob are in court, blah blah blah, Atlantic City court. Then they have this flashback scene, they're at Camp Coral once again. Somehow they meet Sandy there, even though they met Sandy in the first season of SpongeBob episode where, T at the Tree Dome, not as a fucking kid. They meet Sandy as a kid. This the whole Camp Coral shit makes no fucking sense. Then also meet Squidward, Mr. Krabs, Mrs. Puff at the Camp Coral. That makes no sense whatsoever. Like, this whole idea of Camp Coral shit makes absolutely no sense. Like, that whole thing, like, raped the whole timeline of SpongeBob, the whole SpongeBob show. Like, it really, like, destroyed it when they made the Camp Coral fucking idea. That's, like, a bad idea. I don't know why they did that. I know why they did that. Money. That's the only reason why they did that. Because this whole idea, the whole Camp Coral idea, like, destroys SpongeBob for me. Like, how the fuck did they meet Sandy at a fucking Camp Coral? At a fucking camp? They met Sandy in the episode where T in a Tree Dome. That's where they met Sandy. Not at a fucking camp. It makes no sense. Especially like Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Mrs. Puff. No. SpongeBob met them when he got his job at the Krusty Krab. Oh no, Squidward. He met Squidward because he's his neighbor for a long time. Mr. Krabs, he actually first met him when he got his job at the Krusty Krab. That's how it all started. Not this shit. Camp Coral, my ass. Like, I can never count that shit as canon. To me, in my opinion, it's not canon. That's not how he met all those people. There's no way how he met all those creatures, those critters. I don't think Steven Hilbert even wrote this movie. To be fair, he might wrote the second movie, but not this one. There's no way. Because this movie makes no sense. This is just a regurgitated version of the first movie. Is a watered down version of the first movie. I just hate the idea of this whole Camp Coral. Like I said, it's stupid. And what's worse, the Patrick Star show. That's even more bad. Like, that shit was terrible. Like, the whole show should have been Patrick and this other guy, this new character guy, and they go around the Bikini Bottom do retarded shit, and they act lazy. That's the whole show should have been like. Not the Pee Wee Herman show all over again. That's not creative. That's just stealing other people's ideas. So at the end, let's wrap this up. This movie's boring as shit. So at the end, fucking SpongeBob and the gang get out of there, and they thought they were in trouble. Poseidon enjoyed their whole dancing thing, So he decided to let him go on one condition. He wants the snail, and fucking tumbleweed guy. Keanu talks to him in his head, SpongeBob's head, is telling him, "You have courage," and he's like, "No, I'm not giving up Gary." He told him it's all about having friends and stuff like that. He said, "Well, I have a lot of friends besides," and it turns out he has nobody, and he starts crying like a bitch about it. And fucking SpongeBob's like, "You got me," and then he started taking off his hair, his teeth, show his real true skin, his real flabby body. He's bald. Once again, first movie, because King Neptune's bald, he don't actually have any hair on his head. But he actually does have muscles and stuff like that. He actually have teeth. So he decided to let them all go, and blah blah blah, the end. All the snails are freed. All that other bullshit. Yes, in all conclusions, this is a very boring movie. Very unoriginal. Half-assed. A watered-down version of the first movie. They stole shit from shit like episodes of Gary Come Home and Atlantis SquarePantis and other bullshit. They just stole all these other ideas from the first movie. Instead of King Neptune, we got King Poseidon. Instead of Mindy, you got a talking tumbleweed played by Keanu Reeves. But really, Keanu Reeves is supposed to be like David Hasselhoff or something in this movie. But he was not interesting at all in this movie, Keanu Reeves. And other stuff, yes. Here, no. He's just a tumbleweed that's just giving wisdom to SpongeBob and Patrick. And they ripped off other movies like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas with Johnny Depp. They ripped that fucking movie off. Travel through the sand and shit like that. But they pick up No Drifter and they go to Casino just like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This movie is very unoriginal. Nothing has a great idea in this film. Everything's just boring. And a stupid musical crap with Snoop Dogg in there, which that makes no fucking sense. I cringed my eyeballs at that scene because what the fuck was that random bullshit? It's not funny at all. I mean, there's like a lot of random scenes in other movies that actually is funny. This is not funny. Having fucking Snoop Dogg come out of nowhere and start doing some corny rap shit. And fucking Danny Trejo is this shitty bad guy in this film. I'm like, that's the best thing to come up with? The first movie had Dennis. They had Dennis. They had the Cyclops. They got all these badass characters. Like they got Dennis, the Cyclops, the monsters and shit. Like, what the fuck they have here? Nothing. They have nothing here. Danny Trejo, El Diablo, and they got fucking Poseidon. King Poseidon. That's King Neptune basically, but a weaker version of King Neptune. This movie sucks. I don't know what's worse, the second one or the third one. I don't know which one's even more. I don't know which one's even worse. I don't know. I don't like the second one that much because it's just that's another boring movie. I feel like I don't know which one's more or less entertaining. This feel like it's more or less entertaining. Like I was bored out of my mind watching this movie. I don't know why they even made this shit. And Plankton's like way more of a good guy in this movie than he was in the first movie. I mean, the second movie he was a good guy there also. I mean, was he? I don't fucking remember. Yeah, he was, because he actually was innocent because he didn't actually stole the secret formula. That pirate guy stole it after using that special book. So it was Plankton had to figure out where they fucking went and had to team up with each other to find where it went and stuff like that. So the only time he was 100% a bad guy was the first movie. The other two, he was more of a good guy. The third one, he's like way more of a good guy. He was like lesser evil in the third movie. Even though him as a character, he's like more of a neutral character. There's times he's a bad guy, other times he's a good guy. He's like mixed. It's like that episode of SpongeBob season 1. It's like 1% evil, 99% hot gas. Well, this stinks. Because he farted. But yeah, that's the end of this shit. Yeah, fuck this movie. It's just boring as fuck. Unoriginal.
It's radical! Radical!